So last night I had a bit of a nightmare. So I'm 5 weeks now, 2 days, and last night I went for a wee before bed, as you do, and blood was in the toilet now. It was just like a spotting type. It was like red, but actual spots of blood. And then when I wiped, it was like browny kind of pink colour. So obviously last night I was thinking the worst. I just thought, right, this has happened again. So I just went to bed and I just tried to sleep. I didn't sleep much at all because I just kept thinking, right, I was a bit worried about waking up in a pool of blood, to be honest, because it was night time. Anyway, I've woken up this morning and I'm still spotting a tiny bit, but there isn't any pain or anything. Sorry, my cat is climbing all over the place. There isn't any pain and there is a bit of kind of pink, but that's it. But the only thing that I could think is, if it's not a miscarriage, is the progesterone pessaries that I have to put inside my fairy are causing irritation, because at the moment I'm struggling actually to get it up now because it's so sore. So I'm hoping that's the reason why, but then I'm also panicking that how else am I going to blooming carry on with these pessaries, because at the moment I can't get them up. So I'm going to ring the doctors today and find out if they can either check me over or, give me another way to take these things until I can actually have an early scan. Not feeling great really today. Panicking, scared to move, scared to go for a wee. Did another pregnancy test this morning, which I know it could still well be positive after a miscarriage. There wasn't enough blood there for a miscarriage, I don't think. But then, is it imminent? That is the thing. I was feeling so confident about it. And then now I'm thinking, maybe this is the start of the end again. Anyway, this is my pregnancy test from this morning. It was a bit of a faulty one, actually. But you see that darker line? That is the test line. So it's also known as a dye stealer, which is good. But then, has something happened since? I don't know. So I'm not feeling great. Scared to get out of bed. Scared to go for a wee. Don't want to face it. I just don't want to know. But I do, if you know what I mean. Oh, I just can't keep going through this every single time. I was thinking in the middle of the night last night, why does this keep happening to me? This would be my 4th miscarriage, if that is the case. So hopefully it's not. I'll ring the doctors today and find out what I can do and what they can do, whether they can help, and check me over. Good morning again. So, just been to the toilet and more brown blood's come out. And some clotting as well. So, I've just rang the doctor. Obviously, I know there's nothing really they can do. But I'm due to get some more progesterone. So, I just need to find out whether it's worth me taking it or not. Because I don't even know if I'm still pregnant. So, just gutted really. This will be like the 4th miscarriage now that I've had. I was so excited. I really thought, because we'd had like a clear 12 months of not getting pregnant, I thought surely my body won't let me get pregnant again and lose it. But yeah, it's not looking good. Good morning. So, the last day has been a bit stressful. So, I started bleeding the other night, like you're aware. Spoke to the doctor because I was thinking that the bleeding may be wishful thinking to do with the progesterone, because I have to put it up my fairy, which I told you about, and it just was really starting to get a bit sore anyway. And then I had bleeding. So I rang the doctor and I thought he might get me to stop taking the progesterone altogether, but he's now told me I need to put it on my bum every night instead. So I'm going to do that. I started that the other day, and then yesterday morning, which is the day after the first incident, I had another bleed in the morning. So obviously when I have these bleeds, I do kind of just go into myself. I don't really want to kind of go anywhere, or I always think it's the start of the end. So like I just wrap myself up in the blanket and just took myself off, watched a program and just tried to relax. Anyway, nothing happened since. So what's happened so far is I had a bleed at night, and then the following morning had another bleed. I rang the early pregnancy unit. They said it's too early, there's nothing we can do at the moment. It could be implantation bleeding, but I was like, well, I am 5 weeks, are you sure? And then they said, yeah, that can still happen. And unless it's red, they're not really concerned. And then yesterday morning, it was all clear all day, nothing. And then yesterday morning, the same thing again. Yeah, I'm at a bit of a loss. I've got my early scan tomorrow, which I'm excited for, but slightly scared for as well. Because at the moment, obviously in my mind, I am. And I just don't want to be told I'm not. So I feel like going to a scan, I mean, I'm probably going to be a bit early for the scan, to be honest with you. When I've worked out my dates, I think I'm going to be a bit too early for a heartbeat. And I think I'm going to be a bit too early to really see anything. But I just feel like a bit helpless at the moment. So I feel a bit more in control just going. And as long as I'm aware that nothing might be found, I'm all right with that, really. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes, I guess. Symptom-wise, felt sick yesterday morning. Then after that, absolutely nothing. Sore nipples, really sore nipples. Like really sore. But other than that, just shattered. Really, that's it. I feel like I want to do another test just to check I still am. Because it's like in the night, I forget or something. Then I wake up in the morning, I think, oh, am I still... I don't know if I am. And I touch my boobs and I'm like, oh, I hope so, because they're still sore. But, I mean, that's a rubbish way to check, isn't it? But I think at this stage, 5 weeks, 3 or 4 days, I feel not pregnant. So, yeah. And obviously linked with that, with the bleeding and stuff, it's just... one of those things, really. I'm just going to have to wait to find out. But my mum and dad were like, you can't keep worrying, about it. What's going to happen is going to happen, which is easy to say. And they're right. But when you've wanted something for so long, it's not easy, because I just don't want to go back to not being pregnant again. But I think I can deal with it better this time. I'm a lot better in the mind than I was after I lost the twins, because then I don't think I was right for a long, long time. A lot of counselling and stuff like that. Whereas now I feel almost calm and ready. And so if this doesn't work out, of course I'm going to be really sad, but I think I'm going to deal with it a bit differently this time. I'm actually going to let myself get sad, because normally what I do is I just go straight back to work and I don't think about it. And I just think, right, yeah, blah, blah, and then it hits me. So anyway, I need to not talk about that at the moment. I have to be positive. Hoping this pregnancy sticks. It's really weird, because when I was feeling really down about not getting pregnant, I saw this psychic woman came up on Facebook. So I was like, I'm going to have a read, find out. I think she's called Psychics by Nick. Psychic Readings by Nick. Anyway, so I had a look, and she does fertility readings. And I was that desperate to just get some kind of hope that I messaged her and said, oh, could I have a fertility reading? Anyway, she said, calm down, chill out. April, there will be good news. And this was April's cycle. And then she also said, I think she said, I'm having a girl. Anyway, basically, when my period came in April, it hit me worse than it's ever hit me before. It was the beginning of April, and I thought, oh my God. I think I was clinging on to hope of what she'd said. Anyway, it really upset me. I cried for days. And then we booked him for fertility checks. And then, sure enough, we became pregnant in April. But then I didn't test till May. Anyway, the point of the story is that was quite weird. Anyway, I'm here now. It's week 5. You know, I'm still pregnant at the moment, as far as I'm aware. So I'm just going to try and enjoy it for what it is. We'll see if I get any bleeding again this morning. It was around 10 o'clock the morning before yesterday and yesterday morning. So we'll see if it happens again. I mean, it's a bit weird for it to be happening again, but we will see. Good evening. So I've just come out of a scan. Basically today I had more bleeding and it seemed like clots as well in the toilet, and I was a bit worried that the baby had come out. Just one of them looked a bit strange and I was just panicking. Anyway, so the scan that we were meant to be going to tomorrow, luckily we managed to move it to tonight because they had a cancellation. So I managed to get in, and he obviously very, very early, so he said, you know, between 5 and 6 weeks. So couldn't see a heartbeat at this stage, which isn't kind of unusual. It wasn't like in the vagina, the thing. It wasn't in there. It was one of them ones where you kind of scan your belly. And it was, sorry, I'm just waiting for Danny. It was in the right place, so that's good, because I was a bit worried about ectopic. That's just something I've not been through yet. Another one on my list that I thought, I'll probably go through before I actually get anywhere with having a baby. But it's not ectopic. I can't say the word, but you know what I mean. It's not in the ovary. It's growing in the right place, and it's measuring the right size. Not really much else that they could see at this stage, but I've booked in again for in 2 weeks' time. So hopefully I'll be in a position to be able to go in 2 weeks' time, and then I'll hopefully be able to see a heartbeat. And also there was one sac there, so that's a good sign. I was kind of like, what if it's twins? But then, you know, last time we had one sac and ended up with twins inside, and that was a challenge. So yeah, we just want a safe arrival of a baby this time. So yeah, I'm feeling better. Today was a bit difficult as well, because basically had the brown clotting. I rang my GP. They've said to come in and do a test. Did the test. It was negative. I had a really, really faint line. So obviously we all thought the worst, really. Basically I'd lost it. Then we found that the tests were actually out of date. But, you know, obviously the line was still negative, very faint. So he said, go to the shop and buy another pregnancy test and do the next pregnancy test and see, you know, what happens. But, you know, let's just leave it at that kind of thing. So I just thought I'd miscarried, crying all the way to the shop, crying all the way home, crying until I needed my next wee, and then I weed on it and there was a strong line. So then that confused me, because I'd actually started to, you know, grieve this pregnancy. And then here we are. Been for the scan, and that's what they found. So we'll keep you updated.